You fish for money with money, but how do we ensure that the money that is being funneled through our politics is clean money, that it is not bad life? Because that is what we are seeing now. People are basically, if you don't have the money, you can have the best ideas or whatever, you will never get there.
And it's unfortunate. It's a painful thing. But I've come to terms with the fact that any good initiative still needs something to back it, no matter what. And let me come in simple terms.
So your final answer is that basically, since we can't eradicate
because parents don't have money, and it's a painful experience.
So we must just live with this.
And I think we need to do something about it. We need to intervene.
What do we do?
Clearly, I really think that, as other nations have done, we might have to put a cap on spending. And then we have to put a clear a statement on people when things are going berserk or when things are going out of hand, that, hey, pay your assets declaration and this money you're spending, it's not in sync. What's happening? And that by itself, the state can decide that you are not a good candidate and the state should disqualify you.
Is what he's talking about, regulating? I mean, yes, the bit about people declaring their assets and
appropriately,
that, but he's suggesting that,
well,
let's say you've declared your assets.
Let me share my view too, instead of accepting what he has done or disagreeing with what he has done. I think that, generally speaking, around the world, it costs money. I mean, your road safety, campaigns that you have done. Is it back to school or
even seatbelt
school? Whatever campaign you engage in, it costs money.
Promotion.
No doubt about that. It becomes a problem, has become so serious in our case because of a report that I recently came across, a research report that I recently came across that made the argument that in most parts of Africa, corruption is actually demand-driven.
Demand and supply, I mean.
Demand-driven, yeah. It's demand. They prop up people who are corrupt. And they sometimes unconsciously even push people into corruption because of their need. Because you are a member of parliament, you are supposed to solve all their problems. They make demands on elected leaders without realizing that for those demands to be met, those people may have to engage in corrupt practices that will have long-term consequences on even their children and their grandchildren. So our society on the issue of corruption and how to deal with it.
Our politicians reflect what we are.
I have heard.
What did you say?
Our politicians reflect what we are.
Can I finish? Can I finish? Okay, thank you.
So, Hassan, I think you should be a bit patient sometimes.
But if I am making a point and you ignore my point important and you ignore it and go to a side, it's offensive.
He said something that I felt was very tangential, very important.
But when it becomes very consistent,
also don't
when it becomes consistent, it becomes offensive. You have to take note of that.
Go ahead.
So the point I am making about the best.
Hassan, you have the time. It's ticking. Go ahead.
Yes. So the point I was making about our society is that, look, because of where people live, because of the need levels of people, it's monetization of our politics. And that is why perhaps moving forward, I have made the argument on many platforms that we may need to adopt transparent ways of funding political campaigns. Transparent, yes, because in the United States, some of the things that we actually consider corrupt practices here, are legislated and reported on transparently in lobbies.
Right. And it's legal.
And it is legal. And the lobbies lobby the politicians to take certain decisions that will benefit the companies by way of contracts.
Right.
And by way of legislation that will, but it is legal because it is transparent. Here, what you have is a bill is before Parliament, and the company is looking for people they can influence in Parliament to, vote for the bill, or it is not transparently done, and there are no guides as to how they can contribute and get support or otherwise. It is considered corrupt when you are seen meeting with the company that has business.
So in other words, should we
make the reporting channels transparent, so that when you are donating to a political campaign, you are donating either to a flag bearer, you are donating either to a party or to an aspiring MP, you must report, and everybody will know why you are doing that. And so when you are, how much you can donate, for example, I mean, I'm sure the legislation will provide for all of that. There must be limitations on how much you can donate, who you can donate to, how it should be reported, and how you can also spend the donation that you receive as a politician. When we have all of this in place, I'm sure we will be making a very political or not. It's expensive.
30 seconds for you, Doc, and you'll have the final bite of the cherry.
Yes, so within the MPP, I would have wished that we didn't necessarily mirror the Electoral Commission's, number of polling stations. That is where I added on 650 delegates, which is more than some people's constituency, to my constituency. And it's, now I'm teetering around 1,500 delegates, which is huge. So I really think that maybe the party should have just considered maintaining and help the party win the next election.
That's why I disagree. I think expanding the electoral college rather in the long term, in my view, will limit the monetization. But when you reduce it,
there are differences in thought, but how it will work for us. But gentlemen, thank you so much. Alassane Suhuyini, Member of Parliament for Tamale North, and Dr. Dixon Adumaku-Kissi, Member of Parliament, Anya Sowutuom. Thank you so much for enriching our discourse this morning. When we return, our World Cup qualifier is in a bit of limbo because we don't know whether we're going to play in Cape Coast. There's been the proposal that we play at the Babayara Sports Stadium in Kumasi, a lot of a fan base there. But are we even going to be compelled to go to neutral ground? And this is Nigeria we are facing. We'll get the details right after the break. Do stay.